Hype. I'm hype.
Too hype.
Because we're back.
We never left though.
Hi, guys.
Never left.
Happy Friday. I'm excited. Whatever. Hi. So, happy Friday. We are back. We are back at Apartment 408 for another episode of your favorite podcast.
Yeah.
So, today, we're going to be talking about COVID.
And how that shit fucked everybody's life up.
Yeah, because it was definitely a wild situation. So, we're going to talk about COVID.
Get this shit started.
One of the biggest things I think for us with COVID was how it affected this. We came up with the idea to do it, and then we couldn't be together.
Okay, got you. Wasn't quite sure what this was at the time, but I'm following now.
This. It messed up this. But we talked about starting a podcast, and this was before we had the name, thought on a bunch of stuff. But
I think COVID helped and hurt the podcast though. I feel like it gave us both more free time to even have the thoughts. We both was running so much beforehand. It was
we had to sit down.
Yeah, it helped us sit down. But
Yeah.
But then it made us sit down apart.
So it wasn't. Could you imagine a virtual podcast? The 3-screen? I guess I could imagine it.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know if we ever got that. My attention span not. I'll be in the first 5 minutes. And be like,
Tom, what you doing? Watching TV? What the fuck?
No, you'll see me walk off the screen. Half an hour later, be I think this shit might be over.
I'm gonna go back to my screen now. No. So, like you said, it stopped the process of where it was at the time. But it did give us time to sit down, think about it more. When we talked more about it, we were able to just, sit and have thoughts, do more research. I worked a lot from home. I still had a lot of actual working to do.
I did.
However, I was able to still be home. So, the travel time and all of that, I didn't have to do. So, I could give more attention to things that were outside of my 9 to 5.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it kind of gave me the exact opposite effect because I did have more free time, and I realized that I'm not good with free time. So and then I wasn't that productive during the sit.
I feel that not everybody was.
Yeah, not being able to be outside, I feel like my motivation for anything I do is life itself.
Mm-hmm.
So not being able to live life, it was I kind of retreated or whatever.
Right. I feel that.
But
it worked itself out.
We're here now.
Yeah,
in Apartment 408.
Yes. Enjoying
the podcast.
So we're here. So one of the big things that I know affected everyone with when we were in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even after, because I feel like it still has this lasting effect. The fact that it's not over.
Oh yeah, it's not over.
But one of the biggest things was just people's mental health. I have never, you know how we kind of, well, I'm not going to say we, because you speak for yourself, but I feel like I was looking at people why won't y'all just go to fucking house? Why is it so hard for you to just stay in and stay away from people?
Because it's fucking
Because it's hard. And that was like my thoughts initially. As the time went on and I was like stuck for longer, I started to feel that like, bitch, take me to the park or something. Like, even if I can't gather, I need to go. Like,
yeah,
I need to go. But initially, it really was, I was looking like, what the fuck is it so hard about being in a house? Like, just be in a house.
I never felt that. I never felt that what the fuck was so hard, because you know just as good as anybody else who know me that I can't sit in the house but for so long. If I sit there too long, I like, if I only got shit to do, I have to go outside. I just gotta like breathe the fucking outside air or whatever. Like, I just can't sit in the house that long. So being forced to sit down, and then like I kept myself away from people intentionally because, you know, if I was going around my parents, you know, they're you know, older, sick or whatever, and I do got fucking kids, so like all the people that was really affecting are the people in my life. So I was like, I'm gonna, you know, take this, I'm saying, bite the bullet and stay away from people. But that shit was hard as fuck.
It was very hard. It took longer to hit me because, so I'm a nurse and I had got pulled back into regular nursing duties. Like my 9 to 5 does not consist of me providing patient care anymore. But in the thick of COVID, with all of the nurses who were getting sick and had to take off of work and things like that, I was forced to go back into the jail. So I think initially that's why I didn't have that.
Because you still had
that thought process. I had to leave out the house every day. The scary thing about it, though, was that when they forced me to go back in, I was on isolation or quarantine units only. I never worked any area in any of those buildings that were not either confirmed positive COVID patients or they just came off the street and we don't fucking know.
They must have been bagging y'all, because I'd be damned if I would have been doing that shit.
That was what they had me doing. I was there for a month. I was forced to go in and I stayed an entire month. And my supervisor, my regular job is a very heavy, like, I need to fucking be there. Like, there is only one me on the entire campus.
Let them know, sis.
I'm the only person hold my title on the campus. If I'm out, it ain't no Becca, okay? It's me. I'm the 1 and the 2 and the 3.
Oh, you let them know enough.
I let y'all know enough. Anyway, it's nobody to cover for me when I'm gone.
Yeah.
So my supervisor had to like really fight. Like, we got all of this stuff operationally. We know y'all need her, but because of COVID, so I work with IT to like merge technology and healthcare. So as COVID is changing, of course, our forms need to change, our processes need to change. All of that stuff that I typically will oversee has to change, but I'm not there to do it. So it was crazy because we need actual nurses on the floor, but then so that people don't die and we're asking the right questions and the right research for COVID is being done and applied to our forms and documentation and stuff like that, we need the motherfucker that do that too. So he had to fight for me to get me back. But I think that's why it took so long for me to be like, why don't y'all just stay in the house? Because I was leaving the house every day.
So yeah, so you did the exact opposite of everybody else. Like you had to be outside every day, and then you had to see like the worst of
so it was like COVID. Stay home.
When the rest of us were kind of, well, not everybody, but was forced to stay in the house, and then on the most part, COVID was a hoax to the average person. Most people didn't know anybody who got it, or if they did get it, they didn't know anybody who like really like died or was like that was like the shit you heard on the news for. So like the average person was like, I mean, I guess misinformed or
we had a couple employees that died.
I didn't know anybody personally, but I guess it was like secondhand. You know, like late as time went on, like people that I just knew that I actually cared about lost someone from it. Yeah, so it was like that's I guess I had a reality check along like when it first started. Like even though it was false reality, I didn't personally believe in this shit that much. I was like, or how about this? My whole thing was I was like, COVID is not going to take me out. That was just my mindset. It wasn't like it didn't exist. It was like it's just not going to
take me out.
This is not going to be the end of me.
Right.
So I didn't stay in the house for me at all. It was just in case that shit was real. But it didn't. The actual virus never really did shit. It was like
I watched people. Well, my ex sunk into this deep, terrible depression, and it was the most stressful thing I've ever had to deal with. Because now I'm in the house. I'm back in the house. And now I'm stuck with this terribly depressed person who is working from home at a job they hate.
Me and my ex sunk into different types, but deep depression. Yeah. Well, she was already going through depression.
Yeah.
It was we had great times too. You know, just being able just to like, you know, I guess enjoy each other without the outside world or whatever. But it was some of the worst times too. Like just having somebody like right there that you cannot help. It was just like
that feeling of being helpless.
Terrible.
You know, in any space that you're mentally in is terrible. To feel helpless while you're
helpless. Terrible. Yeah, fucking COVID did something to me on that aspect. Like, I don't know if I was ever wrapped too tight, period.
Yeah, I can agree with that statement.
Not too much.
Sorry.
But COVID definitely, I don't know if it took me a little further, but what it definitely did was give me a realization that I'm not fucking wrapped too tight. Like before, it was just like cause you know everybody, no, you a little older. I'm like, ha, get out of here. While I'm pouring whiskey on my Cheerios, like, right. I'm fine. What are you talking about? But now I should be like, yo, you might want to watch yourself, bro.
That's good though.
It's good, but that's a scary realization too.
Yeah.
Because before it was just like, you know, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
No, but now it's like, no, you actually do give a fuck.
And you have to sit with yourself that entire time, realizing it. Oh my God, yeah.
Baby. I ain't never realized how much I hated myself. I was like, yo, this nigga is insane.
Yo, you know what though? I am embracing now all of those realizations because I didn't even sit with myself during COVID. So much had went awry that I didn't have time to sit with me. Like right at I'm not going to say right at the end of COVID because like we're still in it and it's like spiking and coming back down and things like that. But
we're still in COVID. I think can you say we're out the pandemic? Or is it technically still?
No, it's technically still a pandemic. Going? I would say, oh, that's terrible. I think that's cancel worthy.
What?
No, it's an analogy. Bear with me, guys.
Don't be pussy. Live big.
Like if you had cancer, you're in remission. It can still fuck you up at any time. Because it's still, you know, this is like we're laying off, but.
You're saying we're in COVID remission.
Yeah.
That was
But
that was the cancel worthy statement.
Cause I don't want people that got
I think you can do better than that.
I don't want nobody that got
Watch
cancer
this.
to be like, bitch, it's not. Bitch, you can't compare it. Like I don't want that. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway,
people gotta learn just to listen.
But yeah, and maybe not even really remission because
it's
not going. Yeah, like it's still here, but like we're just in this laying off stage. Anyway, a year ago, I also had to deal with not only like jobs figuring out if they were sending their employees back, the kids back in school. Some days we got virtual this and like everything with like a regular routine was going crazy. And then on top of that, me and my ex separated. So like trying to figure out.
COVID? I was like after, right?
A year and some change ago?
Well, all right. It was after the
thick of it.
The thick of it. Yeah. Like, obviously, we're still in the pandemic, so you can't.
But it was after the biggest. Yeah. It was after the last biggest spike.
Y'all made it through the. Y'all waded through the water, like. All right, but
as soon as we seen some shore, baby, you got to get the fuck.
That shit was like.
That's your stop, bitch. I'ma stay in this boat.
It's just and another motherfucking thing. As soon as y'all allowed outside.
As soon as you was able to sit at the fucking bar, bitch, get out. Go sulk at the bar. I'm sick of you sulking on my couch.
That's a bad joint, though.
But it was crazy because you still have to deal with all of the remnants of COVID and that. So it was just a lot. So then my depression started after. Like, I fell deep in, not in the midst of, I think I was stressed out by other people's COVID. The issues that came, like their mental health issues that came from COVID, like being stuck. She felt trapped. And I think that at the time, I was just kind of like on go, right? And like, as soon as COVID started to lay off, it was like, now I get a chance to express. I don't have to be in this go mode anymore. I can feel.
I can see that.
But I'm going to backtrack a little bit because you talked about like the deaths that didn't directly affect you. Nobody that I know personally as well. Well, no, people that I know personally passed, but they weren't like close to me. Like I said, like we had people at my job that passed away. One of the ladies that passed away during COVID, she trained me when I first started. Like I sat next to her and she taught me what the fuck to do.
So you for sure knew her.
So I for sure knew her. You know what I mean?
Didn't have that much
right,
of a bond,
but yeah, like it was no bond because after she taught me and trained me and we worked in the same facility and things of that nature for however long we did, then people transfer. We work at different jails, we work at different times and things like that. So it changed. You know, of course our relationship changed. We still spoke when we saw each other, but I knew people close. So I think that that made me see like, all right, it's really like.
I think the closest thing to me was one of my little homies lost their mom, and like I said, I didn't personally know her, but like that's really my little man. And then it was also like. This nigga in his 20s. He ain't no old mom.
Right, he don't have no old ass mom.
So like when I heard when that shit happened, it was like damn, like that. Obviously, it didn't affect me like it would affect him or them or whatever. But it still was like damn, like you hurting for him, you know, in some type of way or whatever. But like I think that was the situation that really made me say, oh shit, like. COVID be drawing.
Yeah, COVID be COVIDing.
Yeah, definitely be COVIDing. That should be drawing.
another thing.
Another
motherfucker thing. What I feel like after COVID though is all this shit could be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So
instant.
if you want to live, baby, live.
But you also, because at the end of the day, right, COVID might have made you realize that all this shit can be gone in an instant, but it always can be gone in an instant. So you're supposed to live, but it should also, like, give you a sense of morality, too. So you supposed to live every day like it's your last. But don't live every day like it can't be your last. Like it can't be your last, yeah. So, like, you still, you gotta...
Tread,
tread lightly.
Yeah, I feel that. I just think it was just a really, really, really scary process. And I feel like what I kind of relate to that, like everything could be going in an instant, so live, is like if you in a fucked up situation, baby, shit be short. You don't have to live like that. You don't.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Like you don't. You make decisions, right? Like we all choose. Some things choose us. Like I ain't choose the bad bitch life. On a serious note. Serious. Alright. So I mean, like, if you're in a messed up situation or you don't like how you're living, though it's going to take work, you don't have to sit there. And you don't have to take what's happening to you. Or you don't have to just take the space that you're in. Living every day like it's your last doesn't always mean run it up, turn up.
What I think...
do this, do that. But take into consideration all that's going on. Analyze what you can and cannot change and the things that you can and cannot control. And if you can control the things that are hurting you the most, figure that shit out. Control that shit.
I think...
Do not choose to still be in it.
COVID helped people, not help, but showed people like that every day could be your last. So you should cherish the people around you more. But it also showed them, like, I don't think that it was morality that put you in that space. I think it's more so like you saw like how bad and sad it can be. Why choose to live like that afterwards? I think it's more so like happiness. Like it's not so like, oh yeah, well we can die tomorrow. I don't want to be in this. It's like, why choose to be in like unhappy? Like why? It's so much shit that go on in your life that you can't control that's going to make you unhappy. The little shit that you can control that can like give you your joy or take it away, like why not try to fix it? I think it's more so that than like oh, this can die tomorrow. Like I'm out here like I don't gotta be with this bitch. I'm like
I can't feel that. I don't be wanting to be sad, so fuck out of here. You make me sad. Bye.
But that's another thing is I think that somebody making you sad, well, somebody can make you sad, but you also gotta like take that power into yourself too. Like you allow people to make you sad. So like if people's personalities or their moods or whatever can bring you down. And I can attest to that. Like I went through the same thing. Like just being like, even no matter where your mind space is, like being around gloom all the time is just like it's draining. Like, even like you could be, because I'm not the most positive person in the world, but I think my fucking personality lets me be maybe fake happy, saying majority of the time, because like I'm a it is what it is type of guy.
Yeah.
So like no matter what's going on, like it is what it is. We gotta figure our way out of this shit and just keep it going. So like I might not be like I might not be happy all the time, but like I ain't gonna stop.
Yeah.
I might think about stuff like it might be a Saturday night, couple extra brews. I'm like, man, this shit can't take that shit no more. But Sunday morning, I gotta go back at it.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah, people's energies or what they going through definitely can like bring you down. Like,
and that's hard, man. Because I feel like with that, it's like if somebody is in a space and them being in their space is bringing you down, how far do you separate yourself? Because I feel like, let's say you, for instance, if you're constantly in this space, my only thought of separation from you would just be space. But
what you mean?
Like space, not like an ending of the friendship. Like I never leave you.
Unhand me. You handed me again.
Because I never.
Unhand me.
Okay.
Finish your thought. Go ahead.
But with other things like intimate relationships, child, this is getting off topic. This might be a relationship fucking episode or conversation. Because with relationships, if that person, like a romantic relationship, if that person's energy is constantly bringing you down, would it need to be treated as how I feel about you? Like,
no, I don't think you should even feel that way about me. Like, I don't think the only motherfuckers you supposed to feel that way about is your kids. Like, I think everybody else, if it comes to, you say that because I'm not that type of person, but it comes to a certain point when you have to choose you, no matter what, no matter friend, family, significant other, like, that person can want nothing but the best for you, but they don't realize that they're just not the best for you. So that might, you saying you might take that hard fucking step and just be like, because like I said, it really depends on what you can take. Because you can be that rock for this person forever, and if it don't drain you, then you are they rock. But maybe you just not they rock. Maybe you a pebble. Like,
and I need to skip.
Yeah. Go on, skip, Pebble. Like, you say, like you can't be that for everybody.
I always finish my cup before you.
What are you talking about? Been empty for half an hour.
Oh shit! Would you like me to refill you?
I would definitely appreciate a refill.
You want the same thing?
Sure.
We're not sponsored by this brand yet, so I gotta pour our glasses offline, off camera.
I like how you say yeah. Like anybody ever gonna fuck with us.
Baby, don't put that negativity onto my camera screen.
My fault, cuz.
Okay? I ain't about that negative life. We ain't sponsored by this brand yet, okay? Manifestation.
Talk your shit, sis. Make sure you give me my cup back.
Take.
The streets lately.
What?
I said, make sure you give me my cup back. We in the streets lately.
I have not been in the streets. Now.
JK.
I was about to say, you can't say this on their camera. One of them boys might be watching.
One of them? Edit point.
Baby. Leave it.
Yeah, living big. This is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Another thing.
Another motherfucking thing.
And another motherfucking thing. I feel like everybody can relate to with COVID. Finances.
I went broke 6 times in 1 month.
It's the scariest thing in the world. And time. Even for the people who didn't lose their jobs, like all of these frontliners, essential staff, and all of that, the people who could not work.
Mm-hmm.
Shit costs what it costs. And you know how much time it took to go grocery shopping? Can I tell you, I stood in the line at BJ's to get in the store for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I went through that the whole time.
Bro. And I'm like, oh, you know what else though? You know what BJ's did do after a while? They had an essential staff opening hours. The store opened an hour early for essential staff only. So you had to show your ID. When you came to the line, they would place you in the last essential person's, behind the last essential worker. Excuse me. So that helped after my 3 hour.
Mm-hmm.
That day was terrible. But they did that, and that was great. But finances. I know so many people. Because even the people who were essential workers, that shit was killing people.
Mm-hmm.
So that shit was like, why do I even have to deal with this? I don't even want to I don't want to come here and deal with this. Like, not everybody was fortunate enough to be able to work from home. Or like the mail carriers, yeah, like they were still at risk, but y'all walk outside. You know what I mean? Like, you put your mask on, you have to protect yourself for however many hours you're in the building, gathering, whatever. I don't know how the job goes. So I'm not going to sit here and say, well, they only had, like, that's not what I'm saying at all. And I don't know how it goes. So this is assumption. But you spend your time there. The rest of your day, your route is spent by yourself. You know what I mean? So I feel like if I'm assuming, and y'all could jump on here and tell me how it goes, I'm perfectly fine with that. But just thinking about the process of their job and a little bit that I know, though they were essential, they spent a lot of time in the outside air, just, you know what I mean? Like still away from certain things, just delivering. But for the people who weren't essential staff, or the people who were, that was too afraid to continue to work, or had been exposed to some stuff, because COVID happened so fast that these companies, they ain't have shit for us. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people were getting written up at my job.
What you mean?
Like, so, I don't know how much trouble I could get in, so y'all won't know where I work at, because I don't think I can say it on here. But at the very beginning of COVID, like the very beginning, I remember it even with Ebola, because I was still working. I was still doing direct patient care, like when the whole Ebola thing went on. And we would go into intake and things of that nature, like to see our new patients, the people that were coming in, masks, gowns. And they would tell us, you're going to send the other staff members into a frenzy. Like, you're scaring them by covering up.
What the fuck?
Right, though. It's the same thing happened with COVID. Now, I wasn't doing direct patient care with COVID, but I remember when they sent me back to work, one of the MAs came down and she was telling me her experience with them at the job. And she was like, I started wearing masks before they told us we needed to wear masks. And they gave her hell for that. Like, we don't have any cases here. Nobody's been exposed to it. You're sending people into a frenzy. You're making them panic. Because people look at medical staff and are like, they know what they're doing. If she wearing a mask, I need to wear a mask. But so
I know what I'm doing.
Right. But the supervisors wasn't going for that. And I've seen so many videos and heard so many stories, not even in my company or in the facility that I work at, other nursing homes, assisted living places, and things like that. nobody had anything for anybody. Like, nobody was prepared. So everything happened so fast.
Mm-hmm.
People was getting sick, and some people was getting so sick from COVID. They was like, baby, I'm not going back to work. And I will figure this shit out.
Yeah.
And people had to just figure it out, and it was scary. Thank God the government prevented people from having, being kicked out and all those other things. But at the same token, to the people who own properties, I know realtors, I know landlords. Like, a lot of my friends own properties.
Talk your shit.
And they tenants
wasn't paying.
Not paying. They got to bite that bill. Because even though the government said you can't kick people out, the banks ain't fucking say you ain't got to pay us.
Mm-hmm. And the government wasn't paying them.
And the government wasn't paying them. And the PPP loans was for like small businesses and shit. They wasn't throwing money at landlords.
Yeah, you had to finagle
like,
it. If you wanted to be a landlord or any type of shit like that, you had to find a way to finagle a PPP loan.
Bro.
Which I wish I did. I could have had a business.
Listen.
I should have had
baby, start it the fuck over. And I'ma figure it out.
Open a bakery.
Oh, listen.
Sell 3 cupcakes.
Yo.
Let me get 55,000
for a fucking croissant.
Yeah, a croissant.
I sold 2 croissants and a fucking Earl Green tea with honey. 55.
How many employees you got? Hold on.
I got 2 kids. 2, bitch.
How you can work for you when they work for me?
I'm
waking up for everybody. Your kids, my kids.
I'm a backdate my godson's birth. That nigga was born a day ago. Child. No, but it was like some people, like, even though the government did certain things, it was other things that they couldn't control.
Yeah.
And they could only provide but so much. Like, some of these businesses, they got enough power to be like, all right, Joe, I don't give a fuck about what you're saying. You could give all these people PPP loans. You could stop all of these fucking renters from paying a rent. You could stop all of that shit. I need mine. People were fucked up. Like,
shit, like, even like me personally, I work construction.
Yeah.
And
right, yeah.
The only construction that was legally going on was new construction. It was like, I don't know exactly how the law went or whatever, but if you were doing like any retrofit or renovations and all those sites got shut down, it had to be like new construction.
Mm.
Everything not new construction.
Right.
Like,
some people just need shit fixed.
So yeah, just like, there's a lot of like shit. My company told me that I forgot exactly the date. If you give me a couple of seconds, I can try to figure it out. But it doesn't mean much. It was a Thursday. They called me and was like, yeah, don't go in tomorrow. We're trying to figure this shit out. We'll call everybody over the weekend, let them know like how we proceed from here. I ain't heard from them niggas since. Since. For about 3 years.
That's not even funny. Because remember they told us 2 weeks. The kids was going to be out of school for 2 weeks. All of the places that could work from home was working from home for 2 weeks. They were shutting down certain stores. 2 weeks. Give us 2 weeks. 3 fucking years later.
Shit still ain't.
Bro.
Shit still ain't shitting. You know how terrible that shit was? For when we really think about it? Niggas was doing a COVID episode when the country opened back up. Probably every podcast you ever heard of, every TV show, everybody,
Grey's Anatomy did a whole season.
Everybody did a COVID episode about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. Shit's still relevant. I didn't think we were gonna have much to talk about.
But There's so much to say.
Yeah, the shit is.
It's scary.
That shit crazy.
It's very, very crazy. It's very scary. Thank God, you know, the people who survived.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses were able to, you know, either open back up or start. Some places survived it and some places didn't.
Some places survived. It was shit. I know motherfuckers who prospered when they wasn't doing so beforehand. COVID gave them a leg up or gave them the fucking, I guess, the oomph to get it a way they never did it before. Yeah. So, like, it helped a shitload of people. It hurt so many others.
Yeah. Because it was this one restaurant, baby, I was praying they made it out of the pandemic.
Did they make it out?
Like, praying. They didn't.
Damn.
It was...
We should find a chef.
Spanish sushi.
Whenever I find a chef.
Bro.
I want no fucking sushi.
No. It wasn't like sushi. But it was like... How do I want to explain it well? So you don't like sushi. So, you know, you thinking sushi like raw fish. You fucking... No. It was like sushi style. Like a wrap. But roll the benin and fucking rice and beans.
Ain't that a burrito, nigga?
No. Bro. I gotta find the Instagram page and show it to you. I mean, they're not open no more, but I need you to understand the awesomeness of this. I think I ate... And I went for happy hour the first time that I went, which was perfect. So, like, the drinks was really good. The waitress and the bartender were, like, top fucking notch. Like, bitch, your 20% is $22. I'm giving you $50 fucking dollars. The bitch got me drunk. She was so nice, like, so attentive.
You had one of your nights?
Yo, yeah. But it was like you couldn't not have one of those nights because the vibe was vibing. And I think I probably ordered, and I'm not a big John. 8, 9. Oh.
JK.
8 or 9 items on the menu. Because it was happy hour prices. So I'm like, why not? When I say there was not a single fucking thing sitting on that table that I did not enjoy. And they ain't make it out.
My man did that shit one day. We went to his bird. But he's smaller than you. But he smoked like a chimney though. He came in that joint and just ordering shit. I'm like, we sitting there probably an hour and a half later, shit still was coming. I'm like, bro, what the fuck didn't you order? Nigga just was stuck.
I don't know what I am, but I mean, I got all this shit.
Got all that shit.
I got all that shit. Everything was so good. But yes, I do know, you know, some people took advantage of certain things and was able to plot, you know, maneuver in ways that they weren't able to maneuver before the pandemic, and some people just couldn't. They couldn't, you know, pull themselves through or out.
True.
So, you know, it was crazy. But COVID did a lot of shit between mental health, making you realize some shit, finances, and like how affected relationships and stuff like that. Your relationship, you was in a relationship, it didn't make it out of COVID.
No. I mean, because we're still not out of COVID.
Well, yeah.
So if the shit ended yesterday, it didn't make it out of COVID.
The thick of the quarantine period.
No, I mean, we made it past the quarantine period, but it was like once. Like how you what you said, you was once outside was back open, you was like, get the fuck out, you need to be outside or whatever. Yeah. Once outside opened back up, I was outside, and then it was just like I couldn't even continue to deal with the shit that I was dealing with during the pandemic. Like, just like, remember what, I don't know if you saw that Ike Turner clip when they asked him about beating Tina. He's like, no, he said, she act like I just be hitting on her or whatever. He said, no, we sat in the house and like she walking in the house all moping. Ike's like, what's wrong with you, whatever. She like, nothing. He said, I ain't not going about 3-4 days. And then the fourth day come, you know, I pop upside here, you know, and she better with her. She ain't. And niggas was like, the fuck, like you really came out your mouth and explained this shit like you was in the right. But that's how that shit be having you feel like.
He smacked the shit out of her because she was mad for 3 days.
No, she was sad. Not even mad. She wasn't mad at her. Like, she was depressed or sad. And this thing said, yo.
Stop being sad, bitch.
Yeah, I be rocky as shit real quick.
You won't be sad after I fuck you up.
Yeah, but no, that's OD. But I'm saying, like.
You just gonna be in the ICU.
Yeah, see, look. Now, that's how you get yourself canceled. I'm talking about punching the bitch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, fuck. I made it a joke. We still knew y'all don't cancel me.
But no, fuck
At least
it.
give me a chance to get famous to be canceled.
No, yeah, I think that it was more so that just realizing I'm not the one that's gonna help you. I'm not it. And then after that, once that, man, I just was like, you know, I be on my bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I had to throw a little bullshit in there. You know, you gotta sprinkle a little bullshit in there. Yeah, you can't just have this shit normal. You gotta throw a little razzle dazzle in it.
It's gotta,
you know,
gotta fuck it up a little bit more.
But yeah. So no, yeah, we didn't make it through the pandemic.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we came out this joint single and sad.
My nigga. Lonely and depressed as fuck.
Depressed as fuck. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Feel so much better now, though. I will say, for me, I had a weight on me before a pandemic, though. So that was like the punch and just more realization. And as we came out of it, the things that didn't get better, like as the pandemic was starting to wean a little bit.
But I think your shit was terrible before they even came up with the virus. Like before they
yeah, that's why I said I went into it with some shit.
You
like,
went in terrible and just was like, "Oh, I'm fine. Oh, this is great. Oh no, this is I love you."
And it was not great. It was so bad. It was so bad.
Good times.
Good times, man. Good times.
And you finished your first time.
But, oh, shut up, motherfucker. But I do think for me, but that's why I was saying, like, you don't have to live in this space. I think that's what it did for me. Like, in a bad space before, I wasn't happy, even before the pandemic. And then the pandemic happens, and I'm stuck with the unhappiness. And that's all that I have. And then as things started to relax a little bit, I was trying to fix all of the unhappiness before the pandemic with like this new, what looked like a new start, right? Like, all of this stuff has happened. We've went through all of this in this pandemic and things weren't working out. Let me try to see now that things are excuse me. Now that things are different, right? Like we're coming out of this traumatic experience. Let me start to talk to you different. Let me start to let you know the things that affected me then. How can we fix this? Like now that we have this new start, let it be great. No, and it was like, no, bro, I'm still the same bitch from before the pandemic. Like, you're not about to get nothing new out of me. I'm still the same person. Fuck all that trauma.
This probably should have been called a relationship episode because you keep finding your way back to.
No, I don't. It's how COVID affected. And fuck these hoes. Fuck these hoes. Okay. I didn't make no extra money during COVID.
I did. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna say I made less than what I would have made being outside, but my expenses wasn't as high because I wasn't outside. But then things just started evening out, just being Regular old broke millionaire. Yeah.
I wish I would have saved more.
Same. I think, I probably could have. Well, I probably should have too, but my mindset wasn't. Saving was not my mindset. Like, it was, just trying to find happy.
Yeah.
And like, so like, saving money don't make you happy.
Right, yeah.
Like, so
saving it don't make you happy, yeah. Blow
like,
your shit.
Yeah, on random shit. Like,
yeah. That does, it brings you a little bit happy. Whoever said money don't make you happy ain't never had no money. Okay? Because I got the money.
That was my hint
for the items. This motherfucker ain't sponsoring this shit either. But we end all of our episodes with a fact or feeling. So, from the discussion that we had about COVID, from the mental health issues, from the realization that we are fucking mortal, to finances and its effect on relationships, what is our fact or feeling for today?
Fact or feeling? Fact or feeling, COVID was a bad thing.
I'm going to go with feeling for sure.
That's feeling?
I'm going to go with feeling for sure. Because I think that it is something that is subjective. So,
I'm gonna go with fact. I feel like COVID was definitely a bad thing, fact. But just like all bad things, some people can find good out of it. Like,
okay,
man, pressure make diamonds.
For sure.
So I feel like, yeah, if you was the type of motherfucker who got the good out of it, shit, we got some type of good out of it. We got probably a lot more bad out of it, but I think, yeah, bad things can give you good results sometimes.
Give you that push to do good.
Look at our kids.
Fuck kids.
Terrible relationships. Pride and joys.
Okay. All right, so you'll go with fact. I'm going to stick with feeling. Just because I do feel like that it is subjective. But that's all right. Because we're human. And we could just agree to disagree. And I feel your point.
I don't feel
yeah, I was
about
to say no response means you don't feel my point. Which is perfectly fine.
No. But honestly, truthfully, I understand your your method of thought, because we discussed the some of the good things that came out of it. So some people be like, how can you call something that I did this from a bad thing? I think you just gotta weigh it. Like, even the bad didn't affect you like that, the amount of people that died, the amount of people that lost their jobs, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's there, some, like I said, like if 100 people died and 50 people started new businesses, and it's still bad.
Yeah, I understand.
You know? But game's the game.
The game's the game.
Let's send this out.
You know what I mean? Bye, niggas. Thank you for hanging out with us another Friday night at apartment 408.
Come back soon. That's not how it goes.
No, it's not come back soon, but you don't get to come back when you feel like it, okay? The party is every Friday. All right? See you next Friday.
Come back soon.